Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Funday Draft Show. This is going to be a very different Funday Draft than we're used to. It's extra fun day because we're all live here in Canton, Ohio. This show isn't live. This one's pre-recorded, but we are in Canton, Ohio, together as a team, as a group, yet again for the third year in a row, I think.
Yep.
We do have one guy that's missing live that's going to be drafting with us. He's back at the Toilets and Titles Network studios in New York. Joe, how's it going, buddy?
Good, but correction. I'm actually at New York Giants corner headquarters in New Jersey.
That's right.
For tonight, just for the purpose of doing this episode.
That's right. Yep. Nope. So since we're all together, I changed up the wheel of consequences just a little bit. Because I wanted to add in a little flair to take advantage of the fact that we're actually together. So some of the consequences on the wheel today are going to say something about the person to your left or the person to your right. So to help make sure we keep Joe intertwined with our group, we're going to pretend like Joe is sitting over there by that pillow next to Jason right there. So if we say to our right, Jason's right is Joe, and Joe's right is George. All right, so we're all on the same page here. So George's left would be Joe, and Joe's left would be Jason.
I'm just glad to know I'm Joe's right-hand man.
I'm not. You can be my right-hand man anytime, George.
So we are going to talk a little bit about our experiences here at Canton and the live Frankenstein draft that we did today, but we're going to do that on tomorrow night's show on Sunday Night Live. It's not tomorrow night for you guys, but just to give everybody a heads up that's in this group right now, I want to be able to talk about these experiences, and we're going to drop that show on Sunday night. So make sure you go back and watch that one, because obviously this one's going to drop later in the week. But I don't want you all to think that I just don't want to talk about Canton. We've got a Funday Draft. This is a little bit different show, a little different than our live show that we do from Canton every year. So first, let's introduce. I always do this. I only introduce the newbies. So I'm going to introduce one of my right-hand guys in real life, my brother-in-law, the guy that I actually kind of love like a brother, even though I normally won't admit that. Sam Schultz, the first time he's ever actually done a Funday Draft with us, and I think it might be the first time you've ever been on one of our episodes.
It is, I believe so.
Right on. This is Sam kind of popping out of his shell a little bit, so I'm kind of proud of him. So, but it is up his alley because he loves football just like the rest of us. And tonight we are drafting our favorite lineup for all Pro Football Hall of Famers. We're at Canton, Ohio. We're at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I traditionally try to keep football out away from the Funday Draft, but George mentioned it, and it seems too good to be true. Like, it's all coming together. It's the last Funday Draft show of the season, because once football season starts, I'm done with the Funday Drafts until after the football season's over. So we may as well wrap it up here in Canton with a little Hall of Fame draft. So great idea, George.
I think it's an awesome idea.
All right. So for the purposes of this draft, we are going to be drafting, and this is just because if you look up a list of the people that have made the Pro Football Hall of Fame and you look at the players that are still young enough for most of us to remember them watching them play, there's not a whole lot at each position. So we're going to be drafting one of each of the following: one quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line, coach, and contributor. Then we're also going to be drafting two individual defensive players and then one flex spot. But because of the limitation on the numbers, your flex spot cannot be a quarterback, tight end, coach, or contributor. So that means your flex spot must be a running back, a wide receiver, a offensive lineman, or a defensive player. So that's what we're drafting tonight. And so rules, Sam, especially for you, the first 2 rounds are safe. They cannot be affected. So your first 2 picks that you make are yours. You get to keep them no matter what. The wheel of consequences cannot take it away. The wheel of consequences can, though, really screw up the rest of your team. And everybody here can attest that we've all had some bad luck with it. But some more than others.
I thought we renamed the wheel. I thought it's now Joe's Wheel of Consequence.
Yeah, I'm going to bring the extra salt tonight.
But before Joe, it was you, George, that had a lot of bad luck with it.
It gets one to 2 people really bad every Funday Draft. It's fun. It's fine.
You cannot spin the wheel until after the 3rd round, and you cannot spin the wheel in your with your final pick. But you have to spin the wheel at least twice during the course of the draft. Okay. All right. Let's see. That's it for now. If any other rules pop up that we need, I can go over those in a little bit later. But all right, so we're gonna get this thing kicked off with Sam. Sam, you can see my list right here. If you want to take a look at it as well, we all have a list, but I mean, I didn't put my list in any particular order, so it's not like we're all copying off of each other. For Pro Football Hall of Famers, it's just people that are in the Hall of Fame, so we all have the same list.
Oh, I'll take Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
Do you want to put the board up, the draft board, at the stream?
Yep.
Or do you want me to do that?
And nope, I got it because I don't want to get things mixed up because I have 3 different computers here in the house, so I don't want to pop up one that's not that doesn't have sound on. So all right, so same with Jerry Rice, Peyton, and Peyton's off screen. He's our executive producer for the day. He's typing in the players that we draft.
Hey, Peyton.
Hey, Joe.
So yeah, Jerry Rice, my number 1 wide receiver, is gone, huh? And I'm going next. All right, guys, I'm going to take my favorite player, and he may be arguably the best defensive player of all time. I'm going to go with Lawrence Taylor.
Oh,
LT.
definitely.
Joe, on a scale of 1 to 10, guess how shocked I am you took Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, what was that?
I said on a scale of 1 to 10, guess how shocked I am you took Lawrence Taylor.
10 plus.
No, close. You're very close. It's more closer to -10 than 10 plus.
I knew you would either take Lawrence Taylor or get really ticked off when he didn't come back to you in the 2nd round.
It's all right. I didn't figure it was I knew I was picking early because I always lose these drafts, so I figured I'd get my hands on Lawrence Taylor. But it wasn't LT. It was going to be Jerry Rice if he was available.
Joe, you're in the wrong mentality. You don't lose these drafts. People steal all your good players.
That's right. Well, no one's stealing LT tonight, baby.
That's right. And honestly, if I'm going defense in these first 2 rounds, he's definitely one of the top guys to consider. So it's probably a smart move.
Change the position.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rich, what do you got?
Yes, so with my pick, I'm going to pick one of the greatest of all times at just about everything about football that you could think of. This person has brought to your attention. And not only did he change coaching and everything and change the gaming aspect of the gaming world, I will be drafting John Madden with my first overall pick.
Nice.
Another
nice homer pick, but I like it. And coincidentally,
great pick.
Coincidentally, the best all-time Raiders wide receiver, Jerry Rice, has also been drafted.
You'll hear that a lot.
That's a great pick. I love Madden, man.
All right, so I'm ecstatic because I honestly thought that Sam would take my number 1, my 101, and obviously we're taking our favorites, and it looks like we're all taking our homer picks, and I've got to take Peyton Manning, the greatest quarterback ever to play the game. So giving Peyton Manning at the 104, I feel like I got a steal there.
Yeah, these aren't exactly bad names that are going off the board first, even if they're homer picks.
Right.
So I'm next. I had two players I really, really wanted to get on the team. The first one was actually John Madden, and if he was still there, I would have taken him. It's an absolute phenomenal pick.
Yeah.
The guy is mostly associated with everything that is fantastic about the NFL.
And tough acting to acting.
I mean, they named a sports game after the guy, and it's like every year, you know, they do these big Madden releases of player ratings. It's just a big thing. So, John Madden, honestly, if I had the first pick, I would have taken John Madden. That's how bad I want him. So, Rich, kudos to you. You won't do a shot with me, but you'll definitely snack my pick.
We'll talk about that more tomorrow night.
So, my next pick, and I can be called a homer for this one if you want, and that's fine. I'm okay with it. He is undoubtedly the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL.
I already got
As
him.
far as pure passing quarterback, as far as skill, as far as talent as a quarterback, that is Dan Marino. The guy was throwing for 5,000 yards when rushing the ball 50 times a game was popular. So I want Dan Marino. I get my Dolphins quarterback. I'm happy.
Even though he had the laces in, we forgive him for that.
Even though laces were in.
No, it's a great pick. I mean,
Oh, it's awesome.
yeah. I mean,
Here's the other thing. I don't think Jason would have let him get back to me if I didn't take him.
Dan Marino?
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming back to you, and I'll tell you why.
Well, I just picked him, so he can't come back.
Because you both took the wrong quarterback. I'm not going to take quarterback first because here's the thing. I'm about position scarcity in this draft. I don't know if you gentlemen have looked at the tight ends.
Yes.
And the other thing is I have two that I really like, and you can only take one. So
That's very true.
so that's why I went with Dan Marino.
So I'm going to take Tony Gonzalez,
yep.
who is the best. Like, there was another tight end that I like who went on to do other things. But Tony Gonzalez is the best tight end of this group. For sure. So I've got, in a position of scarcity, I've got the best that's currently in the Hall of Fame. Now, once it's all said and done, Kelsey will probably be in there, and I think is better. Gronk will be in there, and he'll be better. But right now on the list, the best tight end of the group, the guy that is, we can argue over these other quarterbacks. I'm going to. There's no arguing over Jerry Rice, but in this position, that's why I'm going there. And then quarterbacks, because you left the absolute best quarterback.
I did not leave the best quarterback.
Right? So we've got two quarterbacks off the board?
The best one was the 104, but go ahead.
No, Joe Montana. I mean, look, you can who's won one Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, if you want to consider a team sport all coming down to one guy, sure, go for it.
I mean, Joe Montana was absolutely fabulous as a free safety. You know, he played amazing defense. Him blocking on the offensive line was just godlike.
Hey, look, he was
like
also,
just because he has the most Super Bowl rings doesn't mean he's the best. Because if you think championships equate to being the best, I want to hear your case for Robert Horry being better than LeBron James or Michael Jordan.
There is literally, when they talk about quarterbacks, two GOATs. It's Tom Brady and Joe Montana.
And
everything else is an also ran. Dan Marino.
Talent-wise, Dan Marino is the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL.
No, talent-wise, Aaron Rodgers is probably the greatest quarterback in the history.
Oh, okay. We've gone too far now.
Intelligence-wise,
you can tell Jason smoked way too much when he was young.
Intelligence-wise, Peyton Manning is the best quarterback in all of football. The best package,
arm talent, the arm strength, accuracy. That is 100%
the best. The best.
Guys, it's 11:48.
Anyway, you guys can judge, but I got the two best players on the board.
Well, that was different.
George and I arguing where we ended at the.
George and I arguing is not different.
That's not different.
No, I meant Joe Montana being called the best. George, you're up.
Yep, and I 100% agree with Jason with position scarcity.
Yep.
And I knew for a fact that I had two tight ends that I wanted. One of them would come back to me. So I knew he could only take one by the rules. I thought he might go Dan Marino, the better quarterback. He did retire with almost every single NFL record.
Exhausted this one.
But that's okay. He didn't have the championship, so clearly he wasn't as good because he didn't play defensive line.
Oh, Jesus.
But I'm going to go with Shannon Sharp. I think Shannon Sharp is probably the second best player in the world.
I agree with you. That was going to be my next. That was gonna be my next pick.
No, it wasn't. It was gonna be mine.
So,
Oh,
like I said,
yeah.
this was
that's what
Thursday.
I figured.
I 1,000% agree with Jason on that, and that's why I was afraid to let him get Marino. I could punt tight end because I knew I could get one of the two.
So my hope was that these two guys on the end were not going to pay that close attention to the position scarcity, and that they didn't really do super big research because they could just look at the list, and I would be able to get one of those two on the way back. I could have passed on Peyton Manning. It sounds like neither one of them would have taken him, so I'm regretting it. But also, I couldn't take. I mean, my son's name is Peyton. Like, I couldn't take that chance, right? So now, because of the position scarcity, there's only one tight end left on this list that I even remember seeing play. So I have to take him as my. And I mean, you see other guys play on NFL films like Mike Ditka and Dave Casper, but Ozzie Newsome is the only one left on the list that I actually remember seeing play the game of football. And I was young, but I remember seeing him play. So I guess I'm going to go Ozzie Newsome. I'm not going to like it, but at least I know I'm going to get players that I've seen. So Ozzie Newsome is my second round pick.
And great general manager.
Is that the same guy?
Yep.
I guess it makes sense. How many guys are named Ozzie Newsome?
I have a cousin named Ozzie Newsome. Or someone always whips something out like that.
Oh, Joe.
All right. I love you, Joe.
Joe, this weekend would be so much more fun if you were here, man.
I so wish I could be there. I really could. But I'm glad I didn't because, like I said, work, it pops up. I don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It definitely reared its head this week, so like the next few weeks. So, but I so badly want to be there. I really do.
All right. What do we got next? We got Rich is next.
Yes, so I'm going to go to the defensive side of the ball. Probably, to me, was one of the great cornerbacks of two teams he played for. Initially started out with one team, went off to play for another team, but then came back to his true love, the Oakland Raiders. And I will be drafting Charles Woodson as my cornerback, one of my
That's
ID.
awesome.
Also has a great liquor.
All right.
So do we ever witness them play?
You don't have to witness them play. It's just your favorites.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
for me,
clearly
our
Jason never
favorites-
witnessed them. We're gonna play.
I mean, the only one of us that's seen any of the rest of the tight ends play is Joe because he's older.
Just our personal favorites.
Yeah, it's just our personal favorites.
Okay,
and
cool.
so, like, for me personally, I can't count him as a personal favorite unless I've seen him play.
Yeah.
And that's the only position left that I was really worried about running into that problem. So,
That makes sense.
I'm not too crazy about. I feel like there's plenty of players left that I love at each of these positions, except for tight end. I'm thinking about going actually for contributor Joaquin Justin, the flex position. You had mentioned that you had mentioned what it can be, what it can't be. Could it be, if I want to do my flex right now, could it be NFL films?
no,
It's its own category.
no, NFL Films is considered a contributor.
Oh, it is. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
If you're talking about the Sable brothers,
Well, yeah, it was Ed and Steve, but there's
Yeah.
an entry there for Ed. There's an entry there for Steve under contributors, and then NFL Films that has like its own entry, and for that it says Steve Sable / NFL Films.
right? Yeah, they were put in as contributors.
All right, I'm
and-
going to take Steve Sable / NFL Films as my contributor.
You said Steve.
Yes, Steve Sable
Okay.
/ NFL Films.
Yeah, no, it's a great pick too. Like it's the 101 of contributors. Like you can't. I
Yeah.
mean, Ed is a distant second, and then it's
I think Ed was his dad, I believe, and Steve took over when he passed
oh,
away.
brothers. No,
I think Ed was the father, I believe.
no, that makes sense.
That's a great job to have.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so Sam is up for 2 picks.
Okay. My next one is most definitely Deion Sanders.
Yep.
Ooh,
He's my favorite defensive
nice.
I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Hands down.
And Dion was flashy and arrogant and cocky, and so was Sam when he was young watching him play.
I love Dion. And if I could do this, I want to put Randy Moss in my flex.
Yes, you can, because you get one wide receiver and a flex can be a wide receiver. So, yeah, Randy Moss is yours.
Yet another Raiders player.
Yep. All the greatest players in the NFL usually go to the Raiders to die. So, Randy Moss is one of my personal favorites. I've told this
I love Randy
story
Moss.
on the flagship show several times, but I once spent $360 per ticket for me and my wife to go see the Colts and Vikings play Monday Night Football, just so I could see Randy Moss play in person. And then he tweaked his hamstring just a little bit in the warm-ups, and I never actually got to see him play. That was miserable. Let's see, Joe. What do you got, buddy?
Let me just make sure. I'm sure he's here, but I can't stand. I'm on the Hall of Fame website, and I can't stand the way they have this broken down over here. Oops, nope. Just want to confirm, even though he's got to be in here. Oh, Jesus.
Control F.
What's my name? Well, I mean, I can't really do a Control F when. Let me take a look. Nope.
It's the third
Control
one.
F is-
We already have Joe Tilton.
Yes,
All right, I'm gonna go with a defensive player who I really, really like a lot. Surprisingly, he's not a Giant. He's got to be in here if I can find him. But all right, I'll say Ronnie Lott.
Nice.
Yep.
Another Raider player. Thank you very much.
Man,
They're just flying off the board, Rich.
really, that's what had happened was
I haven't seen any of these Raider guys plays ever.
I gotta get these my legs though.
Yeah.
I'm short, but they still gotta be stretched.
You're good.
I'm
All
not
right.
trying to play footsies with each other.
I didn't know if he was talking about the his legs or the list of Raider greats, short but need to be stretched.
All right, let's continue on with this. So next I will be diving into my contributor. This great gentleman was a founder of football from the beginning, with kind of like John Madden. But he also changed the culture of diversity, the way it was accepted within the NFL and everything. I will be selecting Al Davis as my
I
contributor.
told you. I called that one.
What I like about that is he had to hurry up and get him so nobody else would steal him.
I honestly thought about it. Just
Actually,
one too.
I had Al Davis on my list of contributors.
And
Just take already.
we'll just take. I was
We could have conspired and colluded, and we could have just gone back and forth taking Raiders.
we'd be done by the third round.
We'd be done by the third round, but we'd have all the Raiders.
Yeah, so I'm gonna steal Sam's joke. The guy was all about diversity, as Rich said, and then he hires John Gruden.
Hey, still diverse decision.
All right, so okay, so I have a couple of players that I really want that I don't think these two knuckleheads are going to take.
Don't bet your life on it.
There's one I absolutely can't pass up on. I can't take a chance any longer. And when I was in middle school, my high school football number was number 20 after this guy. Absolutely dynamite. First time I ever really got to watch him play when I was a kid was on Thanksgiving, because he always played and lost on Thanksgiving. Barry Sanders was phenomenal, electric, and one of the guys that helped make me fall in love with the game of football. So I'm going to go with Barry Sanders as my running back, even over a couple of nice Colts greats that are on the list that wouldn't even hold a stick to Barry Sanders.
He wasn't making it back to you.
Sweet.
No,
And I made the right
was not.
choice then.
That's where I was going next.
So I made the right choice then, because even if they do take these other two, I'd be more pissed if I missed out on this one.
I think he's overrated.
Oh,
I saw him play. I don't know.
That is a
Oh,
hot
The
take.
guy would go off for like 60 yards on a run and not do too much the rest of the game.
I don't know.
Wasn't my type of running back.
But
Sorry.
he made me fall in love with the game.
I love Heel Joe.
He's my favorite Joe.
He's your
To
favorite.
each their own. I'm not judging.
Yeah, he's Barry, and he's still my favorite Joe.
All right.
George, what you got?
So I'm going to go with the contributor here as well. I'm going to go with the winningest coach in NFL history. As of today, ain't nobody going to break his record. I don't think it'll ever be broken, to be honest. I'm going to go with Don Shula from the Miami Dolphins. I know you haven't had a winningest coach ever in the history of the Colts. I get it.
No, I mean, I do think, unfortunately, Bill Belichick very well could break that record.
It could get broken. It's going to take probably another 4 or 5 years for him to do it, and I don't think he coaches that long.
And he's not doing it with the Patriots.
So I've got to say, I wish I had spent a lot more time paying attention to what you guys were doing. I've spent the last, how long has it been since I've picked, looking at top quarterback rankings. Literally none have Dan Marino sniffing Joe Montana in any of the lists.
That's fine.
There
Dude, he was.
that have Peyton Manning, but literally Tom Brady, Joe Montana, 80% of the lists that are out there. You guys can argue what you want, but like all the experts know.
It's
The experts know.
It's the
That's what I'm
internet,
saying.
and because it's on the internet, you absolutely have to believe it.
So
Montana was incredible.
He was.
Incredible.
He wasn't nearly as talented of a quarterback as Dan Marino, but he was incredible.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant Dan. Did I say Joe Montana? Dan Marino wasn't incredible. I thought Dan Marino was better than Joe Montana. Actually, just Montana played on better teams, and that's nothing against Montana. I saw both of these guys with my own two eyes. Montana consistently played on much better teams than Dan Marino ever played. When people talk about quarterbacks carrying a team, Dan Marino is the he's the number one case for a quarterback carrying teams. That guy carried that team every single year.
All I want to say to all of this argument is that, Jason, if we have to revisit this every round, we're going to have a part 2 of this draft.
all right. So man, there's a lot of ways to go.
There is.
Contributors are dwindling from my point of view.
Yeah.
We'll get there first. I think running backs are dwindling a little bit more. I'm going to take the late great Jim Brown,
Nice.
which not a guy I've actually seen play except for in highlight films, but man, there are a lot of them. It's the anti-Barry Sanders. It's not the guy that'll get caught in the background backfield 90% of the time and then break a bunch of runs. I still think Barry Sanders was incredible, but this guy was a lower his shoulder, run you over, put you in the dirt kind of player.
Yeah.
The old style football. So Jim Brown is my running back.
Now, just to remind everybody, for one, round 4, we can use the wheel of consequences. So it's in play if you want it. And also round 4, brought to you by joinrival.com/titletribe. You enter joinrival.com/titletribe. Your first deposit of up to $200 will be matched. And then they'll give you an additional $25 for using that link, joinrival.com/titletribe, for fantasy sports betting, unlike any other site that you're ever going to see anywhere. I won money recently, and then I also got to play bingo cards for NFL preseason games for the first time a couple days ago. So I'm ecstatic about it. So anyway, sorry about that, Jason. Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. Even Join Rival knows Joe Montana. Anyway, so contributor, I'm going to go with a guy who's got a stadium named after him, right? We all know Lambeau, right?
One of the greatest
One-
stadiums. Yep.
One of the greatest stadiums,
One of the greatest leagues.
one of the greatest franchises, or Lambeau, one of the,
greatest leaps.
Lambeau Leap, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he perfected that, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, at 80 years old, he was out there leaping.
Leaping.
Yeah.
What
He showed the
What
players how to do it.
do they call Lambeau Field? Title Town?
Title, exactly. Because the man coached so many titles.
Yep.
So Earl Lambeau, I think, top contributor left on the board anyway.
Yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more on my list, and he wasn't there, but only because of my view. Like you said, Jim Brown, right? He wasn't on my list either because I didn't get to see him play, but changed the game, right? Like for all the history we know, like great picks, like I respect it. Unfortunately, not on my list.
I do feel like Justin's a LeBron guy over MJ, just based off this. What we've got
No,
going
because
on.
I got to see MJ play, and LeBron couldn't hold his jock.
Correct. So I'm up. It's round 4. Let's spin it.
Oh, we're spinning the wheel. Here we go. All right. So let me show the wheel first. All right. So we're spinning the wheel. Remember, we shuffle it 3 times. Now, if it says that the third round picks have to shift left or right, then we shift them on the board. But if it's talking about people shifting, then that's when we're shifting left or right according to how we're sitting. Just to let you know. So we shuffle it 3 times. We'll see how it plays out. All right, so it says you must make a first trade with Justin, but Justin gets to keep the trade.
Of course.
And Justin doesn't like this because I only have one player that can trade. Because you did the wheel way too early, George. And you only have one player to trade for, and I don't even like Don Shula.
Well, my question is, what am I getting from you? Because I don't remember.
Barry Sanders.
I actually am okay with that.
Yes,
trade.
you are. You're damn right you're okay with that trade.
Listen, no, I love. I'm a Dolphin fan. You don't think the Dolphin fan wants Dan Marino and Don Shula on his team?
Oh,
He absolutely does. Let me just tell you that right now.
Oh, man.
But I also wanted Barry Sanders, who you ask anybody who's the greatest running back in NFL history, they're going to tell you it's Barry Sanders.
Not me, if you ask me.
It's the one time. It's the one
Clearly,
time.
Joe.
It's the one time Joe doesn't know.
I think it's Jim Brown. And some others.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we're back.
We're back.
All right, so now that the wheel is targeting me for the first time in a while, George, your next pick is up.
You still need a coach.
Yep. So I still need a contributor. I am actually going through looking right now because I had one that I absolutely did love, and I did like Earl Lambeau. Those were, I can't argue with that. That was an absolute great selection. But I was forced to make a trade.
All right. I think we're up. Joe, can you hear us?
Yeah, now I can hear you guys.
Okay.
All right, we're back. I apologize about that, Joe. We're live. Technology is not very good.
How dare you?
I know.
It's
So-
pre-recorded, but it doesn't matter.
I'm going to go with a contributor. The guy is world famous. He is synonymous with America's team. He's the worst general manager in the history of the NFL, but he's probably one of the greatest owners in NFL history. His franchise value is probably the highest in the NFL. I'm going to go with Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's in the whole thing.
All right.
Yes, there it
Yes.
is.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
You know what it is? He's trying to get back to those glory hole days.
Those glory hole days.
I really didn't know he was. I didn't,
Yeah.
Well, she's been trying that for how long? Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the there's a lot of great people in the Hall of Fame that are listed as contributors. A lot of them I don't know, but like I said, I'm going for the Cowboy vote here, and we all know how those Cowboys are.
I hear you.
They, they them boys. So maybe that'll help me get past Jason because Jason's taking all the good selections I wanted as well.
Thank you. I mean, look.
I mean, outside of your quarterback, like that's the only thing.
He just can't let go.
All right.
All right. Jerry Jones.
And now we're back to
this.
we're back to the boss man over here.
Welcome back, Justin.
All right. So technical difficulties. Had to get it back up and running here, but all right. Let me see where we're at. Jerry Jones. All right.
It's my contributor.
Gotcha. So let's spin the wheel, and hopefully this third round will shift so that I don't get stuck with Don Shula on my team.
What's going to be great is he's going to get me, and I get to force a trade. And I'm giving you Jerry Jones, and I'm getting Don Shula back.
I mean, so
good. All right. You must swap your next pick. So my next pick. Yeah, I haven't picked yet. So my next pick is this pick.
I wasn't even ready.
So I got to swap this pick with Jason.
All right.
The one guy you don't want to give him like a whole.
Lambo?
Yeah. So
Wait. Oh, so you get Lambo and I get to pick, or do I? You
You're
take my
supposed to
next
make a
pick. I get a pick, and you get to take my next pick.
oh, wait a minute. Well, maybe it's okay. So swap my next pick.
Which
Maybe,
is
maybe it would just be.
Yeah, it would be your next pick. So not this pick. It's your next pick. So this round, you swap.
So we
with
just
Jason.
swap fifths.
Yeah, you guys are swapping fifths. Is all you're doing.
All right.
I thought I was gonna.
Because that was his next. No, because
This is
so
his
that's
current pick.
the fourth
Yeah.
pick is
Alright.
the current pick.
Let's-
It's not the next.
I thought I was
You
going.
still pick.
I was
Right.
doing well. I was doing well again. I'm doing well here.
You were stuck looking up stuff about Montana.
I did. I found all I needed.
Well, I can't take my favorite coach now like I was going to.
That's because
So
you got the most winningest coach in NFL history. What more do you need?
let's see.
You got the winningest coach who coached the greatest quarterback. What more could you need?
We got to go with our favorites. And I got to meet this guy when he was a rookie. And I told him when he was a rookie, I shook his hand and I told him that he was an amazing player and one day he was going to be in the Hall of Fame. He chuckled and said, I hope you're right.
Which is next pick.
But it's Marvin Harrison. So I'm going with Marvin
One or
Harrison,
the other.
wide receiver for the Colts. Who'd you say?
Alright.
No, not you.
Not you. I'm working on guessing Rich's picks.
Gotcha. So I was correct though. Marvin Harrison did go on and he made it into the Hall of Fame. And I mean, I know he doesn't remember.
Did he thank you? Did he thank you in his induction speech?
No, but he did let
He
me
should have.
put my picture next to his bust at the Hall of Fame. So that was
I
very
like it.
so. All right, Rich.
All right, so to carry on a tradition that only so many people know so very well, I will be going running back style here as the running back carousel is starting to dwindle down when it comes to true great players. Now, obviously, Barry Sanders, everybody could all admit, is one of the greatest you've seen.
Except for
Except
Joe.
Joe.
All right, except Joe.
It's
But
better.
this,
I liked who Rich is going to take more.
this next running back really
Josh Jacobs.
just set the tone for his era and stuff like that. Some call him the greatest. Some call him the sweetness. I call him Walter Payton.
Oh, that was going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on my.
Marcus Allen.
I said,
That's who I thought. Marcus Allen. Yeah, but Walter Payton is
Yep. Sweetness.
And honestly, if I didn't have Barry Sanders, Rich, I probably would have gone with Sweetness on my pick.
Thank you very much.
All right, Joe, you're up.
Oh,
bro.
can we put up the board?
Oh, my bad.
You don't want to spin?
You know what? Let's get the spin out. I got to do 2 spins, right?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Oh,
I wasn't trying to entice you into it.
no, thanks for reminding me.
Here we go.
Joe, it's not your first go around. You know how many dang spins you have to make? I think you said last time it was too many.
You must
You must make a force trade with the player 2 spots to your right,
two
or the
spots
player
right.
to your left gets to decide the trade. Okay, let's do it.
So you have to make a trade with the player 2 spots to your right, which is Sam, but the player that's 2 spots to your left gets to decide
Rich.
the trade. So Rich gets to decide the trade between you and Sam.
What? We need
So
we need the board.
oh, yep.
Joe, how you been doing today, sir?
Good, my friend.
Yes.
Good day at work. Saw Oppenheimer.
Let me look at the board real quick.
Well, so there's only the 3rd round that you can do.
Yeah, you can only take one player from Sam.
Well, then that's the way it
I'll
works.
do that.
Oh yeah, and Joe. They each only have one player that can trade. So
Yeah. That's why I wanted to do it now.
I did this just for you, Joe.
and he gets
Thank you.
Randy
You're the best, Rich. I love you, Rich.
Hey, Joe,
Yeah.
did you a favor on that one, my friend?
Did me a favor?
Yes.
I love Ronnie Lott, man.
Yeah, but
Randy
you
Moss.
get Randy Moss.
There's other great wide receivers out there, man.
You got Moss.
Yep.
There's not
Yeah.
really Moss.
So,
Moss.
I didn't.
All right, Joe's got to make his pick.
You know what? I didn't realize the player I was going to take is actually gone.
Who is it?
Joe Montana.
Oh my God.
I heard all that arguing, bickering. I thought it was just over Dan Marino.
Just take
I didn't really
thing.
listen. I was going to take. Listen, I love Dan Marino. I thought he was better than Montana. But I always loved Joe Montana. I just thought there were other quarterbacks who were better. But I love Montana plus the name recognition. I'm like, oh, Joe Montana. But obviously, as he should be gone totally. All right, I'm going to take. You know what? I'm feeling it right now. This is the one I'm going to go defense for my flex. And yes, I really love this player a lot too. There's a lot of good defensive players out there. But I want to go Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis.
That's my flex.
You're in the doghouse with me, Joe.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Hey, listen, he could always be stolen.
Hiding in the doghouse.
Did I just snipe?
No,
Or
it's
just the one you just had?
So is there another defensive player can get or no?
Yeah, you can.
nobody else
you
remembers
can-
that story.
Oh,
You can get
yeah.
one more as
I
a
chuckled.
flex if you want.
Was that good or bad?
I don't know, dude. Like
They put him in the Hall of Fame. Nobody remembers
Sure.
anymore.
I'll take Reggie White.
Reggie White. So this is going to be Sam's flex again because he lost his flex, Randy Moss. This is the 3rd defender. So you can draft 2 defenders, and your flex can also be a defender. So his flex is now Reggie White. Yeah, I'm just keeping everybody informed. Yeah, 2 IDP. Yep, yeah, that's legal. So you're good.
Well, actually, I could have instead of my flex, Ray Lewis could be my second defensive player because I don't have Lott anymore.
Yeah. All right. So Sam went with Reggie White.
Remember, Sam, you do have to spin the wheel twice.
Yeah, twice by before your last pick.
What? Oh, I could do other.
You can, yeah.
Oh, the next one, I'm pretty sure. Let's go. We'll do.
This is how he drafts in the home league too.
Sorry.
You got nothing to apologize. We've been talking for 5 minutes each.
Yeah, let's. I don't think that we've beaten the drum about Peyton Manning being the best quarterback enough. Let's go back to that
How
one.
about that Joe Montana and that Barry Sanders?
Yeah, because you guys are all just talking Super Bowls and not actual greatness on crappy teams.
How many Super Bowls did I talk about with Dan Marino? I
You
don't
can't.
remember.
You know why?
Exactly.
He made it to.
I'm gonna pick Johnny Unitas.
Oh,
I wasn't
Love it.
just unreal.
Love it.
How long they lasted is pretty significant in my opinion.
and
Sam,
actually,
that's a great pick, man.
that's the only player I have on my list that I didn't see, just because I didn't know how many quarterbacks were going to go.
Yeah.
So I chose.
I love that pick. All right. I'm really not prepared to pick, so I'm gonna do. Let's see.
Johnny Unitas.
Let me see.
Little flip
Oh,
messed with me. So
it's just taking a minute to move away.
All right, I'm gonna spin the stupid wheel again.
The stupid wheel is being spun again.
Joe's Wheel of Consequences.
Oh,
All right. 2, 3. Okay, Joe, you must.
all right. So is it the pick I'm making right now?
No, we'll stay consistent with the last time. So it'll be the 6th round pick. So you and I will swap 6th round picks, and you're ready to make your 5th round pick. Let me get the board back up for you. There you are.
All right. Let me see. Damn. All right, I'm gonna go with. Let me take another look at that real quick. I think I know who I want. I'm just confirming real quick.
Joe, take somebody from your era, like Sid Luckman.
He can say
Tuffy Luffmans. Tuffy Luffmans. All right, I am gonna go, man. There's a player I want to take, but not going to. I'm gonna do someone else. Give me the person I thought Rich was gonna take. I'm gonna take Marcus Allen. I loved Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
And he was much better than Barry Sanders.
That's fine. We can trash Barry Sanders now. He's not on my team.
Don't do me dirty, Rich. There's a guy I want.
There is. So I'm gonna go and spin the wheel for my first spin.
I love how I hear like 3 people sigh every time somebody says we're gonna spin the wheel. All right, here we go. Shuffling 3 times.
I'll be right back, but I'll be listening.
All right, Rich, you get an extra pick this round, but lose your final pick.
Oh.
All right.
All right. So the first pick I'm going to make, I'm going offensive lineman. Now, it is true the Raiders don't have many offensive linemen in the Hall of Fame, if there's any. So then I got to go to my next route.
This is the first offensive lineman taken too, isn't it?
It is. And I am going to be drafting a brother from another Mexican mother. Is my man Anthony Munoz. Great offensive lineman.
Bengals offensive lineman, right?
Mhm.
There you go.
For the Bengals.
And he's currently a play-by-play announcer for the Bengals.
So where does his next pick fall? Does it fall at the end?
No, because he loses his last pick, so he gets another one right now.
That's disappointing.
And we're just gonna slide it into the 10th round spot. So let me make sure we got the board back.
That
up.
wasn't a step, right?
No.
Okay.
No, we're good there.
All right.
This one will be.
So my next pick is man, I don't know if I want to go this route yet, but I am going to go IDP. I'm going to go my defensive player. Now I could pick multiple Raiders fans here too. But this is one gentleman that played for another team that I enjoyed watching. Kind of had free reign to play defense wherever he wanted to. Always knew how to time the snap and blitz, jump over a line, however you want to look at it, is Mr. Troy Polamalu.
Nice.
It's a great safety.
Y'all
Absolutely.
love Troy Polamalu.
And you know what I love is you didn't snipe me, so thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, there's one wide receiver that I've ever watched in my lifetime that compares with Randy Moss. Not counting Jerry Rice, because Jerry Rice is the GOAT, but a player that's got the physical talent that Jerry Moss had. He's still on the board. So
Jerry Moss.
Jerry Moss. So I'm going to take Calvin Johnson here.
Okay. That's respectable.
I hate the fact that you and Justin had to switch because I knew Justin. I was thinking Justin's up, and I'm like, yep, he already drafted one wide receiver. He's not taking another one, and Calvin Johnson was staring me right in the face.
I've got the draft George wanted.
So
So it's the one guy physically so talented that you think he could compete physically with a guy like Randy Moss is.
Now, how can he be so great if he didn't have all the Super Bowls? I just don't get that. All right, so George, you're up.
the same way Derek Sanders could be.
I ain't gonna lie, I was honestly kind of excited to get the two greatest players in Lions history on my team. Both Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson.
Only two great.
Listen, when you're talking about scarcity, it doesn't get any more scarce than Lions Hall of Fame players. Okay?
My Lions fan son is over there giving us the stink eye. We should probably move on.
That is bad. That's bad.
Their next greatest player is Jared Goff.
Stafford will get there.
He's not getting in the Hall of Fame. So now I kind of have to pivot. I've only done the wheel once, right?
Correct.
Can I look at your laptop just real quick?
Yeah.
I can't see the board, and it's not because I'm blind, but it's because I'm
Yeah,
blind.
no, you're good.
Okay.
It's not because I'm blind. It's because I'm blind.
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and spin.
All
It's
right.
always nerve-wracking after you take a player you really like.
Spin that wheel. All right, George, you must make a forced trade with Rich, but Rich will confuse the trade. So this is where we all go.
No, so I already know I'm screwed. Like he wouldn't do a shot with me. You think he's gonna be nice to me now? Absolutely not.
All right, Rich, you get to make a forced trade with George, and you get to make the trade here. So,
Can I see? I want
so
to see. I don't know what Rich has.
okay, well, can you read it off then?
But
That's what I was
you'll
gonna
have
do.
to pop up
Sorry.
George. You'll have to pop up the.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here.
No, I can just look right there and see it.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
but-
for everybody.
But
else.
Rich needs to see it because he's forcing the trade.
I already know who I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, I know who he's doing to.
so with this pick, I am going to be switching my offensive lineman because I could go another direction. And I am going to move Barry Sanders into my flex spot.
Now I do got one question.
Yes.
Does it have to be position for position?
No,
No,
as long as it's still a legal lineup.
we
we're
can do
good.
running backs in flex.
Yeah.
Just double check. I can't.
I think so. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I know the rules.
because I was thinking
Because
I would
of the
get-
rules.
Walter Payton, give him Barry Sanders. I'm okay with that.
Well, that's not the trade though. so-
I know it's not. I know it's not.
That's right.
All right. So the
So
possibility.
do I need to repeat that?
No, it doesn't matter because every spin from now on out, every single time I go, I'm spinning the wheel. I want you guys to know this.
So just to reiterate what you could do, Rich, you must give up either Al Davis, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, or Troy Polamalu.
No. He's already done the trade.
He's already.
No, you were still talking and looking at it. We didn't. And then George had either Anthony Munoz or I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you already made the trade in the boards.
Yes.
All right. Well, never mind. I was going to try to set up because the trade was about to happen, and I wanted to set it up and build the suspense. But evidently,
What suspense is there? Rich already said what he was doing.
he
He
because I
"I'm
had to give you the
gonna-
computers.
So that doesn't mean everything else stopped. We have an amazing producer over here who's on top of everything.
No,
He's-
I get that. My point is, I was trying to talk when everybody else was trying to take my computer from me while
Also-
we're making the pick.
All I'm saying is he was on top of it. He Googled Lions Hall of Fame. With the rest of his time, he made a sandwich, completed the trade, went to the nap, got some.
All right. So what was the trade then?
It was Anthony Munoz for Barry Sanders.
All right, Anthony. Okay.
So now I'm still on the clock,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
I do suddenly no longer have the greatest running back in NFL history, which is fine because it's still a deep position. There's still a lot of running backs on here that I like. I'm going to go with a killer selection here. You may know him from Super Techno Bowl, where he's absolutely untackleable. You can't tackle the guy. It's impossible. I'm going with OJ Simpson.
That's actually who I almost took instead of Marcus Allen.
We all thought you were going to try to go Bo
I
Jackson.
know, I really thought you were going to go in that round. Like,
with the Techno Bowl.
No.
I was like, wait, he ain't Hall of Fame.
No, he said he did say he's a killer at that position.
Yeah.
I picked it up. I got you.
All right.
And as long as you don't have any of his memorabilia, you're fine. But if you do, just saying.
Or if you're cheating on him, maybe.
Yes.
All right. Did you already put in OJ?
Yeah, it's in there.
Okay. All right. So now I finally get to pick. It's been a while because of the swap.
Hot swap.
So I have my quarterback and my tight end. Unfortunately, my coach. Oh, that's right. I need this third round to change, so I'm gonna spin the wheel.
All I'm going to say is as long as we've been doing this, I've never gotten to pick a trade.
By design.
Yeah, it's not on there. That wedge is not in there.
All right. I must force a trade with Quinn, but I get to choose that trade.
Sam's getting screwed all over.
What is going on?
I like this one.
I feel you, Sam. Don't worry.
All right. Unfortunately, Jerry Rice and Deion Sanders are safe. I can't take those. I can give up. I'm going to give up Don Shula because that makes my team look like crap. And I'm going to take Reggie Wayne. I like it.
I can average you, Wayne.
Now, that gives me Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne.
I don't have Reggie Wayne.
Shoot. You know what? That's fine, though. I'll still take Reggie White. I love Reggie White. He was an amazing defender.
I might take a player that's not on your team.
Oh, you're not in Hall of Fame.
The only thing that's not in the Hall of Fame.
You mean there's other guys named Reggie? All right. So you now have Don Shula, and I've got Reggie White. So I got my first defensive player. So, all right, I'm cool with that. And then I still have to make my pick.
Who gets traded more, Barry Sanders or Don Shula?
Don Shula. And no respect for the winningest coach in the history of the NFL. He's the only coach to have an undefeated season. Like, it's ridiculous. Put some respect on the name.
All right, so I'm going to do something that's very off-brand for me.
Make a good selection.
I'm gonna probably. Yeah, this actually is a good selection. I think everybody will be able to agree this is a good selection. But this is a guy that's coming from an organization that I absolutely despise right now, and I have.
Take Tom Brady. He's not inducted yet.
And I've despised them ever since they signed the Human Predator to a multi-million-dollar contract. But Joe Thomas is Mr. Iron Man when it comes to a position on the offensive line where you miss games, like you get hurt. Like it's a very strenuous position. He's a recent inductee this year, actually. So he is now officially in the Hall of Fame. And Joe Thomas, I mean, you can't say enough good about him. If I have to take an offensive lineman, I don't think I could find a better one on this list. I'm going Joe Thomas. And the crickets would suggest that nobody agrees with
No, that's a great offensive line pick.
No, see, I was going offensive lineman. I'm going to spin the wheel.
Okay.
I am going to go offensive lineman depending on what the wheel does to me, though.
So how does that? Wait, how does that work? So you just picked for?
He picked for me, but we're on the turn, so it's my next round.
Well, yeah. So Peyton, actually, now that we've made the picks, can you swap those for us? Put them on the.
So if it were to shift to the left, like on the way, you don't want it to stay.
Yeah, it should stay the way it is until after the draft in case it
okay.
shifts.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. It's just going to be a little confusing. But
We just got to remember at the end of the draft to change it.
yeah, I always fix and adjust them at the end. So
Okay.
Yeah, and
All
that's
right.
the reason why Peyton is running the
Haven't
show.
picked him forever.
Thank you, Peyton.
Peyton's the super producer over here, and Justin's over here questioning his every move.
Sam, you saying you haven't picked him forever? What are you talking
I
about?
have
You
an
just got
18-year
Don
history of
Shula.
knowing
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to second guess
I
that kid.
forgot.
You just got Don Shula. What are you talking about? All
All right.
the action in the world. By the way, how much did they lie to you about a 45-minute show?
I said 45 minutes to an hour. I don't know how long we're at,
An hour since the recording stopped the first hour.
but okay.
Oh shoot! It ended.
No, I don't know if it did or not.
All right.
No, because
No, it's still going. It's going. It's going.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna shuffle 3 times because you said you're spinning the wheel.
I am.
Oh.
No.
That stinks.
All third round picks shift.
Oh, I think I just lost Randy Moss.
I got him. What do we do? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay. Unfortunately, Reggie White is my 3rd round pick now because of that trade. So 2 spots to the left, and this is on the board left. So that means Ronnie Lott gets moved to George.
I get out, Davis.
So what do we do here?
You're welcome.
So I'm gonna get Randy Moss. Oh, he can be my flex. Never mind. I'll
Yeah.
shut up now. I've
Yeah.
got Randy
Well,
Moss.
that's why-
Johnson.
That's why I'm trying to do it one at a time to make sure that each roster is still going to be legal, but Peyton can do that.
But he's got Al Davis and Don Shula. Was Al Davis a contributor too?
Yeah, contributor.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, Al Davis was a contributor, yeah.
That's legal.
Oh boy. Hold back.
Oh, I went from Reggie White to Jim Brown. I'm cool with that.
What did I lose and what did I gain?
I had like one of
George,
the
you now
best
have
people.
Ronnie Lott.
Okay.
Instead of Anthony Hughes.
Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Joe's
yeah, that's a
illegal.
good trade for
Joe's
you.
in the legal lineup.
Joe's in an illegal lineup.
So do we just
Well, I can put it. You can use one of the defensive players as a flex.
Yeah, you can use a defensive player as a flex. So yeah, he's good too.
Well, so he's got 3.
Right.
Oh, you can have 2.
You
and
draft
then-
2 and then you can have a flex.
I
Yeah.
had 3 earlier.
You know what's great about
Yeah, right.
this? Now, so the tough part is I just lost my running back, and there's a lot of
Is that right, Peyton?
Reggie White's a defensive player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Marcus Allen?
yes.
He's the running back.
So
Running
he's
back.
drafted
Mark Sal's
2.
running back.
Oh, I thought he was a defensive player. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So what's tough now is I lost my running back, and I might have to go get one. I was going to go offensive lineman here. Changes things a little bit.
Now, for the record, there is another one that would shift the 3rd round. So I think if it makes a person illegal, then just that person will stay the same and everybody else shifts. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right.
I'm just seeing how many people have running backs already. Okay, so there is a chance my guy won't come back to me.
Get your guy.
All right, I am taking LaDainian Tomlinson.
Nice.
The deal with LaDainian Tomlinson is, I mean, greatest of all time running back? Obviously not. We took Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Marcus Allen. Greatest fantasy football asset in my time? Absolutely. So,
We're here at the Hall of Fame, but we're here for the Fantasy Football Expo.
Dan Thomason.
So I have to say, I really love my team, and I hate the wheel because I know it's about to get all screwed up.
By the way, I'm spinning the wheel.
I know you are.
I'm spinning it every single time.
Till I get Don Shula back. Damn it.
I still have 2 spins.
Until I get Barry Sanders back.
All right, here we go. All right, George. you lose this current pick and get an extra pick added at the end of the draft.
That's great. That means I get an extra opportunity to spin the wheel.
Yeah. So George will be added an 11th round pick.
An extra spin.
I do
So
love
you
this
get
game.
unlimited spins. You just have to do it twice.
You can't spin your last pick,
Oh.
but yeah, you can spin as many times as
Well-
you want. You just have to spin at least twice.
We forgot it. We might have to check that because if everybody takes the George approach, you'll run out of spots before everybody gets
Well,
to spin twice.
Yeah, we'll have to do the math to make sure everybody gets that 2 in.
That might change things.
All right, Joe has my pick this time.
If you want to put up the board,
Oh yeah.
unless you're spinning, Joey.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm going now.
Yeah, you're up because you have my pick because of where we had to make the swap.
Gotcha. So the pick I'm making right now is who I'm getting, or is this who you're winding up with?
You're gonna make a pick for your team. It's gonna stay in my slot for now until the end of the draft, and we'll move it back.
All right.
But it'll have in parentheses your name because it's your player.
There's a. Okay. There's one of 2 players. All right. I'm gonna go with. I'm not that crazy about the wide receivers that are still up there. So I'm gonna go with the dude that I think Rich is gonna like a lot. And I'm gonna go with wide receiver Tim Brown.
Tampa Bay great Tim Brown.
Once again, Raiders.
There are a lot of Raiders. There are a lot of Raiders.
All right. So Rich, you're up.
Yes. So, Joe, great pick on receiver Tim Brown. But if you really go back into the times of Raiders' greatest receivers of all time,
I know who you're gonna say. That was option B.
Fred Biletnikoff.
Yep, that was option B.
Doesn't he
It was
sound
between those two.
I love it.
opera singer, dancer, Fred Biletnikoff?
This is where we're making our producer work because I'm sure he had to look up how to spell that.
Although I do Tim Brown. I think it's the first guy I ever bought.
What I liked about Tim Brown is that he's more recent, so name recognition. I mean, I know Biletnikoff, and yeah, I think he's probably the best wide receiver of all time. With just era for era.
All right. So I no longer have a coach, right?
You know,
Ooh, I don't have a coach. All right. Give me Tony Dungy. I get it. I understand. He's not the greatest coach of all time.
or a good coach.
He was actually a very, very good players coach. But what he's done as far as breaking barriers and the first African American coach to win a Super Bowl and helping so many African American coaches pave the way.
Oh yeah, that's influential for sure.
Yeah,
He's a great analyst. He's a great analyst as well. I like listening to him on TV.
So
I've got an autographed book from him that when I got to meet him. So he's
cool.
one of my personal favorite Hall of Fame coaches. So I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame as a coach, so it counts.
I love it.
here's what I'll say because I'm a Bucks fan, right? Here's what I'll say. He should be in the Hall of Fame as a contributor for all the things you talked about. He is the biggest waster of talent the NFL has ever seen.
Oh, stop.
Tampa has had a
You know what I
top.
heard? He's no Don Shula.
Tampa had a historic great defense. Couldn't get past Philadelphia with Tony Dungy as a coach. They had arguably the second best quarterback with the Colts. Could only win one Super Bowl despite those teams being great. I love Tony
That wasn't
Dungy as a
Tony
person.
Dungy's
I love all
No,
the things he
it
did
wasn't.
for the league.
Let's put Pauline's fault.
Not a great coach.
Yeah. Well, Sam and I are huge Colts fans, and we're in agreement that was all on Bill Polian.
Yeah, that's Bill Pauline's fault.
He did not get Peyton Manning the talent or Tony Dungy the talent that they needed to be able to.
Didn't he have a Hall of Fame
succeed
wide receiver?
Yeah, he didn't have.
because of Peyton
He
Manning.
had a terrible offensive line.
So Harrison was good because of Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Most of it's
Yeah, that was a hell of a lot of it. Yeah,
So Jerry Rice was great because of
I didn't say that.
They're completely different people.
Yeah, it's a
Complete-
different situation.
completely different, but played 90% of his
But
career
Jerry-
with one. With
Jerry Rice is a way better wide receiver than Marvin Harrison.
right, because
And a
Joe
different
Montana's
system.
way better quarterback than Peyton Manning.
Joe Montana.
I said, no, I
that
don't
doesn't
want
make
any of
sense. Joe
that.
Montana played in a system.
I love you guys.
Peyton Manning made his own system.
Yeah.
right,
Peyton
because
Manning
because
didn't
Tony,
go in Tony
right.
Dungy's system.
You're right, because Tony Dungy was a terrible coach and didn't have one.
Well,
It's circular logic, baby. I can do this all night.
Nah,
Well, we don't want to go all night, so we're gonna let you think that you won. All right.
I'll pick Emmitt Smith here.
Great pick. Great. I kept going back and forth on whether or not I wanted to take him for the last 3 rounds.
What was still the fact that he was still available as the running back with the most yards.
And I guess I need to spin probably for the next one because I have to do.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Well, I mean, technically, you could wait. So
No,
technically, you could wait until 8 and 9 if you wanted to, but
I might as well.
all right.
He's like, let's get this over with. Stupid wheel.
Yeah, the wheel. No.
You must make a force trade with Mason. You get to choose the pick.
Jason?
Yeah, you can have Randy Moss back.
I know. That's
I'm just saying. I shouldn't have said that, but whatever.
Okay, so Sam can give up Al Davis, Don Shula, Johnny Unitas, or Emmitt Smith to get Randy Moss, Earl Lambeau, LaDainian Tomlinson, or
Randy
Calvin
Moss for Al
Johnson.
Davis.
You want Randy Moss for Al Davis. Now, does that still make 2 legal lineups? Randy Moss.
No,
Would-
I can't have.
It could.
Have Al Davis.
Ah,
Al Davis is a contributor.
was
And-
a coach too.
He was a
And-
coach too.
Well, he has 2 coaches already.
Al Davis was entered as a contributor, though.
So you could give me Don Shula.
You can give him Shula.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't want to give him Shula. I would.
He is the greatest coach of all.
He is.
Whatever.
I mean, how many coaches say that they have an undefeated Super Bowl winning season?
I do appreciate this. Now I don't have to pick a.
I mean, really, that's your
coach.
only option, or Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Do you want to give up Don Shula or Emmitt Smith?
Done, Phil.
All right, so Sam's
But Sam's got 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs.
only
Only one.
Sam has
Jerry
Only
Rice.
one of them can be like a flex.
so Sam only has one wide receiver. And
I'm sorry. If he gets Randy Moss,
Yeah. Well, then one will be my flex. Randy Moss.
yeah, Randy Moss is going to be his flex.
and so unless you want to trade a running back, maybe for
But no, who's his second running back?
Only one.
he's got Emmitt Smith and forget it. I'm sorry. Okay.
So Emmitt Smith is the only running back, so he can get Randy Moss as his flex. So it's Don Shula for Randy Moss. And that puts
I saw
back in the 3rd round for you, George. You have a chance.
sorry, Sam. I saw Deion Sanders. And I was thinking Barry Sanders.
Full circle, baby.
I have never wanted to trade. I have never wanted to spin the same as George so bad. And then I
right,
end up
so
with Al
now-
Davis.
So
No.
we have to pick again.
Yep, Sam, you still have to make your pick.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, my team was so good.
We were causing so much chaos.
It does.
I love it.
I'll take Orlando Pace.
Orlando Pace. So he's got his offensive.
Nice.
Great selection. I was going to take him with the round I lost my pick.
You're lying, George.
What's that, Joe?
I said you're lying.
No, the round I lost my pick.
I watched.
I was
the-
looking at the
He
Pace.
was legit.
All right. Wait, before we move on, Peyton, can you do me a favor? My 2nd round pick, Steve Sable. Can you please make that Steve Sable / NFL Films? It matters. NFL Films is
That's what,
it matters.
well, that way, because Look,
because it's if you look at the website, you click on NFL Films, it says Steve Sable / NFL Films.
so
I
we
think both
know
names are important.
the guy from NFL Films. It's hard to know the voice or the name Steve Sable. So like, that's cool with me.
Yeah, I got no issue with it.
Yeah, it's on the website, Steve Sable / NFL Films.
Yeah, but also it says Tony Dungy / Indianapolis Colts.
I will say here.
Put it
Like,
in.
I mean, like that's just who he worked for.
Well, you know what it is though, Joe. If you picked a guy like Lambeau, everybody would just know what he's from.
Yeah, they know Steve Sable, so I mean, I don't care. You can put whatever you want at the end of it.
All right. Well, it's NFL Films has its own category, and it says
I'm okay with
Steve
NFL.
Sable / NFL Films.
If you would have told me Steve Sable, I have no idea who that is. But if I see things related to NFL Films, okay, I get it now.
Maybe does that just make it a better pick?
All right, I'm taking a quarterback here. There's not too many left that I'm crazy about. And I'm going to go for I'm not saying he's definitely not the best quarterback, man. Johnny Unitas, really. Sam, that was a great pick, man. I was hoping to land Johnny Unitas. I'm going to go with the name recognition here. He's definitely not the best quarterback left to pick, but I'm going to go with the name recognition. I'm going with Joe Namath.
So,
Who was the girl on the sideline she was trying to kiss? Susie.
Susie Culver.
Susie, yeah,
You want / Susie Kovler as well?
sure. It's Joe Namath / Susie Colbert. Just kidding, Hayden.
Enough about quarterbacks here, but I think he's one of the least deserving Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
I agree.
He's in there.
Oh, I agree.
He's well, I don't know why you agree, and then you didn't take somebody like John Elway, but
because of the name recognition.
Yeah, he'll get a lot of the New York votes.
you know, he's in there because he made that prediction before the Super Bowl when the AFC didn't or the AFL didn't have a
Yeah.
team. And,
Yeah.
you know,
You'll have Jets fans saying he was a great quarterback for back then, but my God, the numbers were horrible. Horrible.
The numbers are nothing like Dan Marino's. I agree.
Hey, who's talking about the slash?
100% right.
Yes, he actually put it. Yes.
Oh my God.
Good Lord.
All right.
So,
let's
Rich,
see.
you do have to spin the wheel at least one more time. But
Let's
you
spin the wheel
All
of
right.
death.
I'm not a fan of this wheel anymore.
Oh, I'm like you.
This particular
Every
wheel-
one.
I'll be honest with you guys. I threw this together at the last minute. So this particular wheel just has a whole bunch of forced trades on it. It was kind of lazy of me to do it this way, but it has made it fun because there's a lot of forced trades.
I hope somebody's getting Don Julep.
Don't worry.
Somebody.
Nobody wants Don Shula.
That is not true.
He's got cooties. What's your plan, right? You must make a first trade with Joe, but you get to choose the trade.
Oh, yay.
Oh, yay. All right, so here's your board. So Joe has that you can get Reggie White, Ray Lewis, Marcus Allen, Joe Namath, and Tim Brown. And you can give him
We should know.
Anthony Munoz,
Marcus
Walter
Allen,
Payton,
Tim Brown.
Barry Sanders, Fred Biletnikoff, or Troy Polamalu. And you just got to make sure that both sides are still a legal lineup.
And there's two Raiders greats for you to
I
take.
know, but I can't take them.
But you could give up, right?
I could, but I'm not doing giving up Warren Payton and Barry Sanders for Marcus Allen. As all I like it, but
Here's Barry Sanders and Don Julep just shifting around the
Who's the other Raider he has? Oh,
board.
yeah. Sorry,
Tim Brown.
it's not in his column, so I keep forgetting.
let's see if I take the defense players I got.
Meanwhile, this trade is brought to you by Rival.
All right, guys. Do I have to do a trade, don't I?
Yep.
Damn.
You got no choice.
You spun the stupid wheel, Rich.
You know what? I love this show.
I don't even care that it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning.
All right. Damn it. Man, I'm freaking lost here. I am going to make a defensive player trade. I think it'd go either way. You might be all right with this, Joe, but it's going to be Ray Lewis for Troy Polamalu.
No, I'm not okay with it.
You might be okay with Joe, but I'm going to take Ray Lewis, one of the best linebackers in the NFL.
One of the best safeties in the. I mean, it's not awful.
It's not awful. I'd rather have Ray Lewis.
Look, Troy Polamalu never killed anybody and hid in the doghouse.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
I
only draft killers. That's why I almost drafted OJ Simpson.
Only one of us has got a player that's done hard time, Joe.
That should have been a requirement, like 1 quarterback, 1 wide receiver, 1 running back, one killer.
Not even a killer, 1 convict.
Yeah, 1 convict.
But never mind. That's really bad. I shouldn't say that. So, Rich, you still got to make your pick.
We'll go QB here. You guys have already picked pretty much all of them, so I'm going to make a homer pick here and go with Mr. Ken Stabler.
Ken Stabler.
I'm guessing he was great.
Ken Stabler was 10 times better than Joe Namath ever was.
Do you think Joe took Joe Namath just so he could spin the wheel? And the way Joe talks about him, he just literally
name recognition.
Joe Namath's starting to feel like Don Shula. No, I swear he's great.
Don Shula was a great coach.
You didn't take him.
No, he's hoping to get traded to his team, though.
Me too.
It's getting tough.
I'm getting tired. I'm ready to pick.
We gotta wait for.
Yeah, this is getting tough, guys. I gotta.
It really isn't.
It really isn't. No.
I'm gonna go defense here because I can still get 2 guys. Oh man, and that's where it's tough because I see 3 guys, 4 guys, 5 guys I really want on here. 5 guys on this list that I really want. And man,
I thought he was talking about the sandwich place for a minute.
yeah,
I
that
thought he
sounds
was just talking
delicious.
about us.
You know what? Give me Ed Reed. The dude was phenomenal. He was all over the field. I mean, yeah, he was action all the time.
That's your defensive player?
Yeah, well, it's one of them. Ed Reed.
I like the disdain.
Give me Ed Reed.
I like the disdain in Joe's voice.
Like the Joe Namath of safeties. I'm joking. I'm joking.
And I forgot to spin the wheel, so I guess I'll have to do that next time.
George is going to spin the wheel.
I'm gonna spin the wheel.
Yeah, I think I'm getting to the point where I might just start spinning the wheel the rest of the way.
Joe,
Losing my great players like always.
if you like chaos, Joe, spin the wheel.
All right. George, you must swap your next pick with Rich. And Rich even said uh-oh before we even pulled up. So,
one after this one, right?
Yep.
yeah.
That's not a big deal. I just move back 2 spots.
Yeah.
All right. So because I can't see the list, do I have a quarterback yet?
You got Dan
Dan
Marino.
That's right. Greatest quarterback of all time.
Can't trade him anyway.
Can you see it now?
Yeah. Do I have a running back?
You did.
O.J. Simpson.
O.J. Simpson. Okay. Got a defensive player. I got Ronnie Lott.
But you get 2 defensive players.
Yeah. I really need a wide receiver. I don't have any of those yet. So I'm going to go with. I was going to go with Calvin Johnson, but Jason drafted him.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with one of the greatest 2-way players in NFL history. 9 times All-Pro. Yes, he played in the 1930s,
Are you making a pick?
but it doesn't matter. It's Don Hudson.
Is he a wide receiver?
He's in the Hall of Fame as a wide receiver, but back then he played both ways. He played both safety and he played wide receiver.
He's playing chess and we're all playing checkers.
Yeah, he's going after the 90-year-old man vote.
No, I'm going after the. If you look what he did during his era, nobody was better. And if you look up him up on most greatest ever list, and Jason will probably fact check this while he's waiting on his next turn, he's in the top 10 top 10 to 15 for wide receivers of all time.
Yeah, but what's great is people looking at this on Twitter voting aren't going to go and look up what Don Hudson did.
No,
They're
because
gonna
they
be like,
probably
"Who's that
know
guy?"
who he is because they're knowledgeable about the sport.
Oh, okay.
What I do appreciate is he said error and not era.
That's my Massachusetts accent coming out. I can't hide it all the time.
Or the greatest slip of the tongue ever. So error, not era. So it is my pick. I'm going to pick, and then I will spin the wheel on my next pick. Right?
Okay, because
I do
that'll
have
give
to
you
in
your
that,
second. So yeah.
So when we started talking about linemen, there's a guy. When I think of a lineman, great lineman, there's a guy that I remember from. I mean, he played forever, but he was synonymous with the best offensive lineman in football for a good long time. I'm taking Steve Hutchinson, who played for Seattle. Before Joe Thomas was the Iron Man, Steve Hutchinson missed some time in his rookie year. And then after that, in 2002, he returned in 2003 and played 123 consecutive games. He was the guy who made Sean Alexander a thing. So Steve Hutchinson is going to be my offensive lineman.
I like it.
All right. And then,
Now you're going to spin the wheel?
as Joe mentioned, we're going to spin the stupid wheel.
The wheel of garbage.
I must make a trade, but who gets to pick?
Let's make a first trade with the player 2 spots to your left. So me, let the player 2 spots to your
Right, gets to decide the trade. So, George, you get to decide the trade between myself and Jason here. All right.
Hey, I do have
Go ahead and read the possibilities.
the greatest coach of all time.
So the players that Jason can lose, he can lose Don Shula.
Hey,
He can lose
Let me
Earl
pull it
Lambeau.
let me pull up the draft board for everybody to watch.
Okay.
Yeah, the producer could do that.
There we go.
He can lose Calvin Johnson. Don't think I seen him on the other side, underneath Justin's name. I see him over there. He can lose LaDainian Tomlinson, and he can lose Steve Hutchinson, and he can gain a Jim Brown. He can gain a Marvin Harrison. He can gain Tony Dungy, and he can gain Ed Reed. Now, wouldn't it be fitting if I gave Justin Don Shula and gave Jason Tony Dungy?
Yeah,
Hey,
I would never talk to you again.
A, I know
So
Jason would hate having Tony Dungy on his team. I know he would hate it. And I know Justin would hate having Don Shula on his team. So the jerk in me wants to say, let's do it. But I don't think that screws Jason enough.
What?
No, it doesn't.
Because Jason does have Calvin Johnson. And he sniped Calvin Johnson for me. And don't think I forgot. I didn't.
Can I get another wide receiver?
God, I hope not.
Jim Brown, Tim
No.
Brown,
I don't have
Marvin
Tim Brown.
Harrison. No, you can absolutely add Calvin Johnson to your squad.
Oh, okay.
But we're doing the coaches.
Oh, you ass.
So Jason is getting Tony Dungy and Justin is getting Don Shula.
Hey, remember all
Are you
that?
happy you no longer have Don Shula on your team? I did you a favor.
Remember all that terrible stuff I said about Tony Dungy?
Yep.
I still mean it.
But you can't be mad at me because I did you a solid.
You
I
did.
got Don Shula off your team.
Yeah.
So you understand how much I hate you for this move, but this is the name of this game, so I respect the game. You jerk.
I think I'm at the point where I have to take defense. He's conceited. You know what?
If you're still watching this at home, A, thank you. B, This is so much fun.
So look, there's several defensive players I want.
So take
My favorite player is on the my favorite player of all time
Yes, he is.
is there. Who's my favorite player? Mr. Derek Brooks.
Mike Allstott. Oh,
So,
He just
but
got
you know,
inducted.
but and he just Derek Brooks has been inducted.
Oh.
Ronnie Barber just got
Oh,
inducted.
Warren Sapp.
No, Derek Brooks. Here's the thing. I enjoyed what you just did, George, and it felt so bad. So this feels very good.
ooh,
I'm taking Jason Taylor.
That's fine.
okay.
Because I can still get Zach Thomas.
It's
So I see his name on the list, and I'm still kind of surprised that Jason Taylor's in the Hall of Fame.
it actually hurts my team because I don't think he's one of the better defensive players here. But you know what?
It doesn't hurt me at all because I wasn't going to take him.
Okay, so George and Rich have to swap picks here, so it's
Rich is
Rich's pick.
Yes, so
Rich,
we're gonna spin the wheel.
Rich, please take Zach Thomas.
Jason, I'm trying to cause chaos.
know.
I have given up on winning this game. So I just want to make it miserable for everybody else.
Rich.
All third round picks.
Oh,
You must make a forced trade with George, but George gets to choose the trade.
I really like the way this game is turning.
All right.
Rich is about to get Jerry Jones, and he doesn't even realize it yet.
here. All right.
I got a coach right.
All right. So
You think you got a coach?
So the trade is between you and Rich. You get to choose it, so give the possibilities.
Is Jerry Jones
All right.
a coach?
So Rich can lose Anthony
he
Munoz, Walter Payton. He's losing Barry
No, I
Sanders, by the
think
way.
he went in as a contributor.
He can lose Fred Betnikoff, Ken Stabler, and he can gain. Who's he got to trade with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's available to get Ronnie Lott, Jerry Jones, O.J. Simpson, or Don Hudson. So
The Hudson Hornet.
Barry
From Lightning
Sanders
Flash,
is
for those of you that don't know.
Barry Sanders is
Lightning
100%
McQueen.
coming back to my team. So you just lost Barry Sanders. That was a no-brainer for me. Now, what I really want to do is, because I do enjoy the chaos, I'm gonna give you. I can't give you Jerry Jones, can I? Darn. Man, give him Don Hudson. I don't care.
Wait, yeah, you can. I don't got a contributor.
Give him Jerry Jones.
All right, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones for Barry Sanders. Man,
We're fine with that.
that is a lopsided trade.
I didn't want somebody that I didn't know about.
He was happy it wasn't Don Hudson.
Yeah, but
George's
that's the
absolutely
only time.
freaking
Well, let
happy.
me rephrase this. This is the second time in my 20 years of drafting that I usually don't draft a Cowboy person.
Well, technically, you didn't draft this one.
Okay, so Sam is the only one that hasn't spun the wheel twice, and he has spun it once. So just so everybody knows, we don't have to spin the wheel more.
Yes, we do.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. And we have to make sure we save at least one wedge for Sam, though.
That's fine.
Was that?
Still gonna be my pick.
Yep. So Rich is up.
I'm gonna make this short and sweet because of how long this is running. Tight end Dave Casper.
Nice selection.
Yeah, makes sense.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Oh, sure. Why not? That's all we do.
So if it was Richard's pick, why did George spin the wheel?
I didn't.
I spend the wheel.
I was going to spot it, right?
Okay.
You're right. That was a dumb question.
Sorry, it's late.
All right. So Dave Casper for Rich there, and then it's my pick. So now, Joe, you gave me some crap for my defensive player pick, so I feel I need to totally redeem myself with a defensive player that I know you're going to love. I'm going with Michael Strahan.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because even if you don't like him, you can't trash him because your fan base at Giants.
I like him. I like him.
All right. I feel better now. I feel redeemed from my
You redeemed yourself.
my obviously really super bad pick of Ed Reed.
You redeemed yourself. You redeemed yourself.
I like what you did there. All right, George, you are up.
I am up. Can I take a look at what I have on my roster?
Yep.
I mean, I'm probably spinning. Let's just be serious. But
We know.
Yeah, I hope he does so I can get Barry Sanders. Keep spinning, buddy.
Barry Sanders is in the 4th round. He's safe right now.
No, he's not. You can still get a forced trade where somebody else gets to
Well,
pick.
yes, you can. That is true. That is absolutely
Just a
true.
reminder.
I'm okay with that. That's fine. Yeah, let's spin the wheel. I need. Okay.
All right.
I do. If the 3rd round shifts now, it's funny because George could have had Don Shula back, but he screwed it up with the trade.
Listen, I'm okay with that trade because I got 2 birds with 1 stone on that one.
All right, George is spinning the wheel that he is landing on. You must make a forced trade.
With Rich, what you get to choose the trade.
Every time.
All right.
Everything was going so good.
Hey, Rich, you should have done the shot with me.
All right. So read off your possibilities that you're.
I feel like
you're
I just
considering.
did this.
Well, that you're the ones that you're considering, not all of them.
All right. So I have 2 running backs. I have a DB. Got a wide receiver. I can do 3 running backs, right? Because I can flex them, right?
No, you're only supposed to draft.
You can only
flex
draft
one.
1 running back, so if you flex, you got 2.
Okay.
Peyton, are you able to double check the lineups so that we're all legal?
George, just so you know, you're stealing from Rich.
Yes.
Okay.
You can't see it because he's on like row 10, but Ray Lewis is down there.
Joe, thank you.
He was my player anyway. I'm getting back at Rich for stealing him.
I did not look down to row 10. Like the way Justin has it on the screen, it's almost hidden. So I did not see him down there. So thank you, Joe, for being a very honorable, upstanding senior citizen and bringing that to my attention.
I'm hoping to get him back.
Man, the guy helps you out. Maybe you can call him a senior citizen.
Joe, you remember the AARP?
What's that?
Are you a member of the AARP?
No, but they send me stuff all the time.
Close enough. Don't worry, they sent it to me too.
So who am I getting in?
All right, so I'm going to take Ray Lewis, and I'm going to give Rich. I'm going to give Rich Donuts,
What position is it?
wide receiver.
I already got a receiver.
Do you
I
have a
think you have
flex?
to.
I got 2 running. Maybe I can.
Yeah, because you only have 1 running back.
My team was looking so good.
You know what's looking good is
Okay.
that shirt, Rich.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make you feel better.
Yeah, Ray Lewis for Don Hudson. Yep,
Yep.
that one can be done.
It's horrible.
Don Hudson's mom wouldn't even make that trade.
I can honestly say, and listen, it's probably going to change.
And
But
honestly,
the team is definitely a killer team.
George's team is looking awesome.
And Ray Lewis.
All right, so you still have to make your pick though here.
I need what? A contributor, or coach, something like that.
I did.
I don't even know what I need.
It's so late I can't not laugh at that.
That's
I
fine.
just don't know where we are right now.
I really don't.
I almost said the F word. It turned into a deep.
So you have 2 defense. You have your flex because you have 2 running backs.
Yep.
You need an offensive lineman. Do you have a coach?
Coach and contributor.
Okay. Offensive lineman, coach, and contributor.
We got a lot of line. We got a lot of stuff left. Draft.
All right, so I'm going to go with a contributor that they, whether you agree with the rule or not. Some people say it helps minority coaches. Some people say it actually hurts them because they just are being used for a process. But when you really want to talk about somebody who supports diversity, it doesn't get any better than Art Rooney. That's literally why they have the Rooney Rule. So I'm going to go with Art Rooney for my contributor.
So I guess he's in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame, and he's listed under a contributor. From 1933 to 1988, he's a founder / team owner, Pittsburgh Pirates / Steelers.
What?
Stuck with my guy.
Why are kickers on there?
Oh yeah. I mentioned it in the chat at one point, but since there are only a few kickers and punters, we are allowing them as contributors.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Okay, well then
Oh.
we'll just take kickers and punters out altogether.
Thank you.
Kickers and punters don't matter, like usually anyway. So never mind.
Well, it's a great guy.
I tried to include you kickers and punters.
Well, yeah, but you should have waited. You should have said something a lot earlier than the 8th round.
You mean like in the chat 2 weeks ago?
You expect us to remember 2 weeks ago? You changed the rules 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, so who's up?
I think I am.
All
Let's
right.
spin that wheel.
Wait. What was that?
Let's spin the wheel.
Oh, okay.
I need to pilfer. Not happy with my team. After all the steals.
Does anybody need more?
All right, Joe, you must swap.
The next pick with Sam.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the 9th round. So you still make your pick here.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with a coach. So I need one. And I'm gonna go with Vince Lombardi.
Vinny.
Hey, it's not a bad deal. That's what the trophy's named after.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. Him,
Vince Lombardi Trophy.
and Lambeau were neck and neck. Yeah. I don't know if they even know that. But
Is it my turn?
Yep, Sam, you're up, and you only get one pick this time because you have to swap your next round pick. So it'll be you, and then Joe again, and then you, and then you have to spin the wheel either this time or next time.
All right, I'll do Mean Joe Green.
All right.
This one.
All right, Mean Joe Green.
Nice.
all right, Joey, you're up, bud.
Actually, I think Sam picks.
No,
you
because
swapped.
when
You just swapped.
yeah, you guys swapped picks for this round when you spun the wheel.
Okay, so I'm going. Oh, can I see the board?
Oh, my bad.
It's okay.
I was
So I am. I don't understand.
So when you just spun the wheel, Joe, and it said you must
Right.
have your next pick. So this is your next pick.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, I'll spin the wheel.
3 defensive players at one time. That was now my first defensive player. Oh, Saints. Sabres. No Sabres.
all right, Joe. You must
Make a force trade with the player to your left. So that's Jason.
the player to your right gets to decide the trade. So Joe and Jason are making a trade, and George is deciding.
Every trade.
Hey, Joe.
Remember your buddy Joe, George.
Joe, remember when you pointed out Ray Lewis to me?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't forget either. And I appreciate that you did that. I just want you to know
Any
that.
excuse, right?
I know you're an appreciative person.
So,
Oh, can we bring up the draft board, guys?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
get that.
There we go.
now, am I allowed to get Joe's opinion on who he would like, or is it?
You have to make the trade. I don't care how you do it.
For time's sake, man.
Joe, is there anybody that you have your eye on, Joe?
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about Kelvin Johnson?
I was gonna say, you know what? Ooh, you know what?
We could do Calvin Johnson for Reggie White. You win that one easy.
As long as you both still have legal lineups.
They're both wide receivers.
Reggie
No,
White.
Reggie
Oh,
White.
Reggie White.
Oh my gosh, another Reggie
You
I was
White.
thinking Reggie White.
Yeah, see?
He's
All
only
these
like one of the
Reggies.
best defensive ends of all time.
Yeah, but there's only one Reggie. Well, there's two. Reggie Miller.
You know what? I wouldn't mind. Let's see. Yeah, my wide receiver is pretty.
Pretty
Jesus,
questionable.
who was my wide receiver again?
Right now you have Marcus Allen.
No, he's my running back.
Tim Brown.
You got Tim Brown.
Oh yeah, he's over. Gotcha. Hey, Joaquin. Yeah, no, I'm podcasting.
Who's he trading?
All right, you know what? I'm thinking. He's got wide receivers.
How about Tim Brown for Calvin Johnson? That sounds good, Joe.
Yeah, let's do that.
Talking to Jason at all.
I don't even see.
Jason didn't point out Ray Lewis, okay?
God, I didn't even see him.
Yeah, we're gonna do that, Joe. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
that.
let's do Calvin Johnson for
For Tim Brown.
Tim Brown.
Yep.
Calvin Johnson.
You good with that, Joe?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm
Jason, the only thing this does is it helps you get an earlier pick in the next draft.
It really does.
Next year.
Yeah.
After the football season.
Oh, that's rough. So it's my turn now?
No, it's still Joe's.
No, Joe
Oh.
Suss.
Joe Sauce the sled.
Oh, okay.
It feels like Joe already won.
Wait, guys, where's Calvin Johnson?
He's on your team, Joe.
He's under.
That'd be Jesus.
He's under my name.
I think it's time to move the players around, guys. But okay. So I'm still picking a player over here. All right. So I'm gonna go tight end. And I've got two in mind. I'm thinking either a name recognition guy or I'm gonna go with the guy who kind of revolutionized the position in the 1970s. I think I'm gonna go with that player. I'm gonna go with Kellen Winslow as my tight end.
That's awesome.
I'm surprised he was still there this
I know, I
night.
was hoping I would get him eventually.
Eventually.
I know.
Don't let what his son did.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not a Hall of Famer at producing other tight ends.
Right.
So Sam, you're up and you have to spin. Yep. Okay. So all right.
I'm excited for spins now.
Embrace the chaos.
My team sucks now. I can lose with Daniel Tomlinson. Whatever.
All right, Sam, you also must make a forced trade.
With the player to your right, so we don't do full trade here. But the player to your left gets to decide the trade.
How does this happen?
I think they switched games.
Your wheel sucks.
I think George really likes my wheel.
I gotta say, this is the most fun I've had doing one of these drafts in a long time.
All right. So if you're going to ask opinions, I don't even care. Let's just end this thing. So you're making a trade with me and Sam.
All right. I think I already see the trade. It would make Justin happy, and it would continue with the trend of Don Shula getting moved around.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're gonna give Sam Don Shula and give. Oh no, hold on. I was looking. Yeah, I can do that. Don Shula for Al Davis.
Al Davis is a contributor, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't have a contributor, so that's
Okay,
fine.
I'll do that. That's I'll do.
That was mostly just to get Don Shula to keep moving.
To keep it moving.
He's getting closer and closer to my team.
Yeah.
All right, Sam, you still have to draft.
Oh, yeah.
So it's draft.
And now you need a contributor.
Oh, okay.
Well, you need a contributor, and you'll need one other thing. Probably
Probably tight end. I know who I want for my contributor. Lamar Hunt.
Lamar Hunt, yeah, good one. Co-founder of the AFL and the Chiefs owner, so Lamar Hunt.
Boy, those pies on that wheel are growing bigger and bigger.
We've never been through this many and had so few left.
I'm spinning this round.
All right,
If I can spin twice,
where are we at? All right, Rich, you're up. So
Spin
This
In
is-
the wheel.
this is your last pick.
Yep.
So do you know what position you
Oh,
need?
you can't
You
spin.
can't
the wheel,
spin.
it's the last
Oh
one.
yeah, it's your last pick. You can't spin on your last pick.
What do I need then?
What do I need then? All right, so you have your coach. You've got
You got your wide receiver.
one defense,
Got my lineman.
offensive
I'm gonna be a
line.
contributor.
Oh, okay.
Since someone took out Davis.
All right, so you need a
What's
contributor.
available?
This is what's available on my list. I don't know what's actually available.
Here, I'll help you pick too. Hold on. Oh.
Can we go back to putting kickers on there, the punters?
Oh.
Rich so badly wants Ray Guy.
Yeah. Dude.
Hey, this is not a bad one.
I'll tell you, there got to be
Yeah, that
the
too. Pete Rozelle.
There you go.
I will be doing a
Oh,
Pete
yeah,
Rozelle.
Rozelle.
The veteran
Yeah,
commissioner.
definitely.
That's a good one.
I like that.
You're welcome.
The Raiders have to have the most amount of players in the Hall of Fame.
I
Every
agree.
position I look at, they're loaded.
I agree.
So somehow this kind of shaked out to where I actually kind of like my team. I don't know how it happened. I think it has something to do with me no longer having Don Shula. But
NFL team with most Hall of Famers.
I have to get a contributor and what else? Oh, wait, no, I have Al Davis. Do I have my coach then? Was he taken?
Yeah, you're good. Don Shula was taken.
So I need a coach. And then flex, I believe.
I got a good coach for you.
I need a.
Wait.
Yeah, I don't think I have a flex.
No, you don't.
Okay, so I need a coach and I need a flex. No.
Just for the record, the Raiders are tied for number 7 overall
Really?
with the most Hall of Famers. Yep. They have 19 total. They're tied with the Los Angeles Rams. The Dallas Cowboys have 20. They're tied with the Washington Redskins Commanders.
Hands.
The New York Giants have 21.
I didn't know that.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are tied with the Green Bay Packers at 26. And then Chicago Bears are leading the way with 30.
All right, I'm going to spin the wheel.
Really?
The only thing on my team I don't like is my contributor, Al Davis. So hopefully I can move this. So I'm going to shuffle this and spin the wheel.
Fourth trade with Richard.
You must make a forced trade with.
Sam, but Sam just doing it. I still get out there.
You and I are going to make a trade. You get to choose.
a trade.
Yep, between
All right.
you and
I don't know
I.
what that feels like, do you?
What's that?
Hey, I've gotten good at this. You want my help?
All right, so it was a mistake for me to spin the wheel that time.
Man, every time.
So
Hey.
no, I was pointing to make sure there's nothing hiding down there at 10.
Oh, there's not for me and him.
Yeah, let's see what I'm even allowed to have.
Well, you can get Jim Brown,
Yeah,
Marvin Harrison.
Well, what does he still need to make a legal lineup?
yeah, that's what.
Technically, you still get them. You just might have to give me the same position.
Yeah. So you could do Emmitt Smith for Jim Brown if
Yeah.
you wanted. That's their same positions. You could do what tight end does he have?
George just cannot
Oh,
get enough
so-
of forcing the trades
Oh,
himself.
that's protected.
Let the man think.
Listen, he's a rookie, okay? I'm trying to
He
Put
didn't
him under
ask
my-
for your
I'm trying to
opinion.
help put him under my wing and help him along.
This man knows what he's doing. Don't patronize him.
I think
Can we go back to arguing about quarterbacks?
Jim Brown for Emmitt Smith is probably the best.
That's not bad. I'm okay with that. I mean, I think you got the better end, obviously, but I like it. I'm okay with that. All right. So I still
Not much
need
I can do really.
I still need my flex
But I like Jim. I want a Jim Brown.
and my coach. So I'm gonna go for coach. You know what? Screw it. Let's go Joe Gibbs. I like little Gibby,
Gibbs.
the Gibbster. Joe Gibbs. All right.
No matter how much you say it, nobody's going to comment.
You just
He
sure.
won three. He won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks.
Well, if Super Bowls are what matters, I guess I got one of the best. All right, George.
Can you please let me know what position I need?
Maybe.
I would appreciate it.
Maybe if you spent more time looking at that and less time helping.
He can't see it.
I can't see. Look how far away I am from the thing.
Okay, so he doesn't need a flex. He's got his contributor.
But then I wouldn't be looking at the list.
Does he have a coach?
I think you need a coach.
You can have Don Shula.
I mean, I would take him.
You need a coach. You have 2 defenders.
Lineman.
Does he have offensive lineman?
Yeah, coach, a lineman.
And that's it, right? Because I only got.
Yeah.
No, because you have an 11th round pick because you lost your 6th.
Okay.
So there's another one in
Receiver.
there somewhere.
Do I need another receiver?
Yeah.
Let's go with. So.
I don't think you even have a receiver.
Did he?
I don't because I gave away
What's
Don
his?
Hudson.
Oh, Art Rooney or something. Yeah.
So for my receiver,
Yeah.
you know what? What the heck? Let's go with the original 88 for the Cowboys.
Don
Let's
Hudson is
go
a
Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin.
Michael
Yeah.
Irvin.
I like that one.
I thought you traded him to me for a defensive player.
Well, he did, but it doesn't have to be an equal swap.
No, no.
It's late. Nobody's remembering the rules.
What rules?
Yeah.
All right, Jason.
Oh, it is my turn. I'm
2 picks.
gonna spin.
Don't worry, it's the last spin of the game.
No,
Is
you
it
can spin
really?
again.
If I want to.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like the way my team came together.
Oh, a big one. All 3rd round picks.
Oh,
They shifted 1 spot to the right. As long as they're legal, remember.
That's big here.
Yeah, we might have to just spin again.
Well, no, if it's not legal, yours stays. But if shifting it to the right, you're still legal, then yours can move. So, all right. So we'll start with Sam.
Again.
Shula. If Shula goes to Joe, can he have him?
No.
Who's Joe's? Oh, he's got Vince Lombardi.
Yeah.
And does Joe already have his?
Yeah, I have 3 defensive players, so one of them's a flex.
All right. So then, does that mean Don Shula now goes to Rich, or Reggie White goes? Oh wait, if we shift one to the right, Reggie White would go to Rich.
Yeah.
Which, but no, because the coach cannot be a flex, so Joe still couldn't get him. All right, I think we're just gonna spin again. Let's make this easy so we move on.
Thank you.
So we don't have to do this for every single one.
I could have lost Tony Dungy.
Oh.
Yeah. Call shenanigans.
You must make a
Forced trade with Weston, but you get to choose. So you and I are trading, and you get to choose.
2 teams have been pillaged.
and somehow it looks better.
I mean, you get rid of Tony Dungy here, Jason.
That is true.
Do you have a coach?
Joe Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
Poor guy.
You know what would have been awesome? If Justin still had Don Shula.
I am going to trade Jason Taylor for Michael Strahan.
Oh, you dick.
That's right.
That one hurts. and I can't spin again.
Nope.
I'm stuck with Jason Taylor.
There's only one person who can still spin, and that's me.
All right. So, Jason, make a pick.
I am.
And actually, you get to pick 2 here because you can't spin again.
So I still need a defensive player and a flex. Is that right? Somebody.
You need a
Yeah, defensive player.
And a flex. Yep. So I'm gonna take my favorite player, Mr. Derek Brooks. Can't leave the draft without him. I could play if I still loved my team, I'd play the game of taking somebody popular
For namesake.
for namesake. But and then I need a flex, I think. I'm just gonna go with I need a flex. And take me a second. Sorry guys. I'm slowing down. I don't know if you guys can tell.
We're all slowing down.
Yeah.
yes. Flex is what you need.
Did somebody actually take Michael Irvin already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
Just before you.
That's what I thought. But I'm glad you didn't hear it either.
All right, George, do you know what you still need?
I have no idea.
I'll start looking at that.
I know what I need if that helps.
What do you need? Maybe I did.
Before you do that, take a flex.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. I'm taking Marshall Falk.
I was just looking at him.
He's the guy that to me he's not as good as LaDainian Tomlinson, but he was also a fantasy football stud in my early fantasy football
Great
days.
show on turf.
All right, George, I know you need a coach at
He-
least.
he
And I
was
don't
also-
know what your last pick
He
is.
was also a Colt for a good while.
But you have to wait until the 10th round's over to get your last pick anyway. So,
All right. So for my coach,
There's still one, I think it's really, really good.
the coach, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the coach that coached the 3rd greatest quarterback in NFL history. I'm gonna go with Bill Walsh.
Yeah.
is that the guy from Unsolved Mysteries?
Yes, that's actually it's his brother, John.
Actually, that's really good.
All right. So, all I have left is my flex. I'm gonna take a guy that he had a great NFL career as a defender, but I think after his death, maybe contributing as much to the NFL moving forward, and that is Junior Seau with the studies being done on CTE and everything. So I'm going to go with Junior Seau as my flex play.
I actually met him in San Diego at one point when I was out there with the Marines. He used to do a church sermon on the pier on Sundays, and I would go out there to his service. It's a great dude.
And then Rich is done.
Nice.
Good job selecting Don Hudson.
All right. So Joe, do you know what you still need?
I gave you a gem.
Yes, I need an offensive lineman.
Okay.
Oh, so it's my turn? Okay,
Yes, sir.
cool. I had great offensive linemen to choose from.
I don't know what I mean.
And just so Rich knows,
All right.
Gene Upshaw was in the running there. However, I think I'm going to go with recency.
I think I need an
I
offense.
think I'm going to go with. He's actually my least favorite player on the list, but he is recent. So I'm going to go with Jonathan Ogden.
Yes.
Jonathan Ogden's a good pick.
That's a great pick.
That's a great pick, but I like Roosevelt Brown from back in the day. John Hanna was phenomenal. There's also Tony Baselli, but he only played like 7 years or something like that.
I think Tony Baselli seems better just because he's the greatest Jaguar, and there was only one of them.
He might have been their first pick.
You know what I have to say about it is if after 7 years they felt like they had to put him in the Hall of Fame, he was probably pretty good.
Oh no, I get it.
That's all.
Do you know what you need?
Yeah. Just I'm just going from name recognition, I guess. Mike Ditka.
Mike Ditka. So as always, you need a tight end.
Nope.
That's a good one. It was between him and Kellen Winslow for me.
All right, so George, you get to wrap this thing up.
I'm gonna wrap it up. All right. So, I'm going to go with what I believe is one of the best offensive linemen in the history of the game. Because that's the only position I have left. Played for, at the time, one of the best teams in the NFL. 11-time Pro Bowler, first team All-Pro 7 times. Larry Allen of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, Larry Allen. That's
Absolute
it.
stud.
All right, draft is done. All right, thank you everybody for tuning in.
Teams?
No, we don't have time to recap the teams.
What do you mean? We're at like 2.5 hours.
Yep,
Think
we're
20 minutes.
2 hours and 5 minutes. If you want to look at the list of all the players that we had on that we kind of like our honorable mentions, it's the rest of the list of the people that are in the Hall of Fame. So, Joe, appreciate you coming on tonight, buddy, and
Thanks for hosting.
Thanks for watching. I'm done talking. I need to go to sleep. Good night.